Hello guys, welcome to the THQ podcast. So in this episode, what I'm going to be discussing and what I'm going to be giving you really is I'm going to be talking about 3 points, right? I'm going to be talking about muscle building for men. I'm going to be talking about the reality of losing a pound for a lot of people. And then I'm going to talk about the third and final part is day-to-day dealing with cravings and sort of screwing up on your diet in the middle of the day, which I think is a very common problem. But what the sort of theme of this episode is going to be looking into there's no script, and this is just sort of my views on living with a body transformation, real life facts. Yeah, it is fine, right? We've never lived in a day and age where information is so easily available, like everything from tracking calories, you can pretty much find anything you want on the internet, right? So why is it so hard? Why are we so misinformed? Or why do the things that work for other people don't work for us? And I think there's not a lot of information out there that really breaks down why it is so hard for normal people to achieve this. Why is it so, when you look at, say, for example, lads who are building muscle, why is it so hard for like day-to-day lads to actually build decent amount of muscle or have a decent physique? Or why is it so hard for the day-to-day person to stick with the diet during the day? Or why is it so frustrating when we lose a pound? These 3 things that I've handpicked out, a couple of questions that we got earlier in the week in our THQ support group, is that they're so hard. These things are so common and so hard. They sound obvious, and if you Google the answers, you would find the answer. But why can't you practically put things into, why can't you practically achieve the goals that you set out to do? Why can't you practically do these things? So without further ado, let's get to the first point. Now, lads, for building muscle. Now, I've done many videos, many podcasts, many posts on and spoke to many people on how to practically build muscle, right? And this is not what I'm going to be talking about today. Now, practically how you build muscle, if you just search on Facebook or YouTube or anything, you will be, or just ask us as THQ trainers, whether members or non-members, just reach out to us. We will tell you the practical ways to build muscle. And if you're part of THQ, you will know the practical ways to build muscle, right? But why do many people fail to do that, right? And there was a conversation that I had earlier in the week with one of our Buxton members, and it just sparked. This is such a comment. It was an easy reply for me to give him, but it was a question that I think a lot of people struggles with. So the question that he asked me was, and this was Matt, he's been a THQ member for many years. He has built an incredible amount of muscle, and he has got an incredible physique now. And if you look at his before and after picture, he has done absolutely amazing. And he said to me now, his next stage is he wants to put on a bit of muscle. What sort of calories should I be eating? Right? So I worked out his calories and explained to him, you should be eating, 2,800 calories, for example. I can't remember the exact what we worked him out at, right? And I'm not getting into the facts of how I've worked out because I've done plenty of podcasts on that. But the facts was, and the real question that I asked him, and this is what every lad who wants to build muscle needs to ask themselves, was that if you eat 2,800 calories Monday to Friday, you have to be committed to eating 2,800 calories on Saturday and Sunday as well, right? These are the real facts. You have to be committed to doing that. If you're not committed to doing that, then what you do need to look at, right? And this will 100% interfere and hinder your muscle building goals, but you've got to look at it as a practical sense, right? Because I look at it this way, but I am accepted that I am not building the maximum amount of muscle possible for me because this is the way I want to live, right? Okay. So I said to him, if you eat them Monday to Friday, you have to be committed Saturday and Sunday to eat them, right? You can't be having extra meat. You can't be, I've eaten that, I've done really well, I've hit my muscle building calories, my muscle building diet, I've trained hard, but then Saturday comes, I'm going to have a few more drinks and a takeaway, or I'm going to increase my calories because I've got a meal planned, or things like that. You can't do that, because then you're going to be in too much of a calorie surplus and you're going to put on body fat, you're going to be unhappy with your body composition, and then what's going to happen is you're going to then start to put on body fat. And what do we do when we put on body fat? We go on a cut. So this is the problem with setting out, right, I have a muscle building goal, right? You may have a muscle building goal, but you need to be practical and realistic of the level that you want to take it to. Now, I decided many years ago that, once I'd built the max amount of muscle I wanted to, once I'd done that, once I've made so many sacrifices and cut out so many probably really sort of sacrifices with like friend relationships, like with my mates and time with my friends or time with my partner, time with everything. I sacrificed so much time in certain periods of my life, and I didn't choose to do that anymore. And what I mean by sacrificed time is that my circle that I was I was friends with, that I still am friends with now, or my partner, anything that's, they don't necessarily live or breathe training, so they like to eat meals out, they like to have a few drinks, they like to do that, and I personally do like to do that as well. So I made a decision, right? And this is what Matt, when I spoke to Matt, he made this decision as well, that he decided that he was going to look on his calories over the 7 days, right? So he decided that he was going to have 2,000 calories Monday to Thursday or Monday to Friday. Then he was going to have an increased amount of calories over the Saturday and the Sunday, just to make sure that he can have that extra few meals with his partner, a few drinks with the lads or whatever. He decided he wanted to do that, right? And yes, he is going to, if he is strict on them days and he sticks to them calories, he is definitely going to build muscle, right? His goal is still going to be achieved. But one thing he's not going to do, he's not going to maximize, and this is what you have to be realistic with your goals, right? He's not going to maximize his muscle building potential, because on average, he will be getting majority of his training, decent quality, hard training sessions in the week. Now, he needs the most amount of calories to do that. He also needs the most amount of calories to protect his sleep as well. So if you're obviously, because when you're building muscle and you're pushing yourself hard, let's say, after COVID, when the gyms are all open, so when you're pushing yourself hard and you're getting stronger and you're really starting to pack on muscle and you're really starting to pack on your performance, then you are going to need more calories in that Monday to Friday time frame to recover, to train harder, to carry on progressing, to maximize your muscle building potential, right? So if you're restricting them calories on Monday to Friday, you're not maximizing that time. Yes, you can still train hard. Yes, you can still build muscle. You can still eat just about enough calories to sleep and recover. But then in the weekend, if you're not training as much and you're having them increased calories, yes, that is good for your overall flexibility, maintenance, and maintaining a body transformation long term. But you're probably having too many calories there at the weekend and then not enough in the week to support it. However, I'm not knocking that, because this is exactly what I do. You just have to be realistic in your approach. Now, I am not going to build the max amount of muscle. I'm very happy with my body composition. I'm very happy with where I'm at. I'm very happy with my whole my whole lifestyle that I do. That I do generally feel that I'm the healthiest, the happiest, and fittest, and leanest and strongest I want to be. Right. And well, you can always obviously push a little bit more, and you do have tricks and tricks where you go off the wagon, not horrendously, but you do. Sometimes you're not always fighting at your best. But what my best is, I understand what my best is, and when I'm at my best, that is the flexibility of the calories of the 7 days, but it's not necessarily the best for building muscle. So what you have to realize is, and that yes, you will progress a certain area, right, and you will be able to build muscle. But you need to be I realistically know that I'm not constantly looking at, right, just by doing this program, I'm going to get extremely a lot more bigger arms and a bigger chest and I'm going to get bigger than what I am now. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, from the average person listening to this, you've got all that journey to go through. I've been training 10 years. So for example, with Matt, he's going to, when he's doing these calories over 7 days, he's going to maximize a hell of a lot of muscle. He is going to build a hell of a lot of muscle. And he is going to do well. But as you're maximizing it, all this is, I'm just educating you, you're not maximizing it. So of course, you're going to reach a point, just like I have, that everybody will have, is that you are going to, by having everything looking at your life, when you set a goal, I want to build muscle, you have to look at every area. Are you willing to cut out X amount of things in the weekend? Are you willing to do that? Then you will maximize your muscle and you will really reach your true potential. But are you sacrificing too many things that's not going to make you happy? That's what you have to realize, right? So this is the part when lads build muscle, This is what we need to understand when we set out a goal of building muscle. We not only have to set out a goal of building muscle, we have to set out a whole lifestyle approach and see what we want to do and what we want to do long term, right? So in short, yes, Matt is going to maximize that muscle in 7 days, but then he's going to reach a point like I have that you either cut out other parts of your life, right? There's no good. This is another thing as well, right? I've reached a maximum amount of muscle that I can build, right? Not because I've not trained as hard, not because I've not found the right program, not because, so you don't go looking for other sort of programs. The real reason I am not maximizing my full muscle building potential is because I'm not willing. I still want a few drinks and a few bad meals at weekend, and I still want to have that sort of flexibility and that increased flexibility. Could I have the odd bad meal? Yes, I could, but I actually do prefer the whole switching off lifestyle of, right, yes, I still eat majority well throughout the weekend, but I just like that switching off of, if I don't want to train hard of X calories, I won't train, but sometimes I do, I just like that sort of whole relaxed sort of approach. But I need to make sure that one, I'm staying lean, fit and healthy and strong. I do not binge and eat loads of crap, crisp chocolate, sweets, biscuits. There's really no room for that at all in body transformation, really, like a binge and things like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm doing is I'm just having that little bit of flexibility, and that's not sometimes the very, 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 very best, but it is the best for me to maintain the muscle mass that I've got and the flexibility in my lifestyle and me enjoying my body transformation. And that is what I want to get people to understand when it comes down, when you're on the transformation journey, when you're looking at building muscle for lads, you have to look at the long-term approach, and it's not sometimes the best next program or the next this, next that, or it's the commitment that you have over your body transformation long term to achieve your goals, and you need to look at that and what commitment you want out of it. And that would be my opinion on the real life insight and building muscle. And the next thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about going off track in the middle of the day, losing your motivation in the middle of the day, giving into crisps, chocolates, or just really, when we're in the day, right, 9 times out of 10 we are busy, right? We are going to operate a hell of a lot better without a belly full of food, right? That is the reality, right? You don't want to be hungry. I certainly eat as soon as I get up in the morning. I'm not one of them that fasts all day and, we're being starving and smashing loads of caffeine. I'm not saying you should do that, right? What I'm saying is you shouldn't necessarily be full, like a really full belly, right? We all get that feeling, but as soon as we get that full belly feeling, we're relaxed. It's human nature, we're relaxed. In the day we're supposed to be doing, right? So then we're relaxed and we're tired. If we have a full belly, we're relaxed and we're tired, and we're looking for sugary things to boost us up, like, or too much caffeine and things like that. So the reality in that, the life hack or the trick or whatever you want to call it, of reality is that during the day, you're not really supposed to be really well fed. It's that reward thing. Like if you get your quality food, again, this isn't a food podcast or anything. This is just a reality check, right? For a podcast, is that you get your food, that you have your food and you consume it and you find, but just because when you have your breakfast or your dinner, just because you have that sort of overload of, right, I feel really full and associated, I feel really, I can't. If you don't have that, you need to stay on the edge of that. That's the trick. Stay on the edge of, you've eaten, but you're not quite too full. And then focus on what you've got to do. Whether you've got work to do, you've got to sort out the kids, you've got to do anything you've got to do. We're all busy and productive in the day, right? So whatever you've got to do, just you focus your mind. You've had your little bit of food, that's fine, you've done. And then when you've finished the day, the end of the day, that's when you can consume more of your calories. That's when you're going to be in a more relaxed state. That's going to help you sleep. And that's going to sort of knock on this, oh, right, well, I have to have a sugar kick in the middle of the afternoon. I have to have these things because I've overindulged or I've not eaten the right things. And, wait till the evening, right? I'm not saying starve yourself all day because then you'll binge all evening, right? I'm just saying that when you've had your meal in the daytime, you don't have to feel full or you have to have something else, because as soon as you have that something else, that's when we relax. We don't need to relax. We want that sort of reward at the end of the day. You know what I've done? I've had that. I've worked hard. I've got all my jobs done. I've done everything I needed to do, and I'm a little bit hungry. Yeah, then I'm going to have that. You don't want to be starving because then you'll eat the wrong things. but you'll have that that nice meal in the evening. Then you've got plenty of calories left probably for something, a little treat if you wanted to again. But if you just go through that sort of sugar craving bit after the first meal, it's a lot easier to do. So that's my reality of sort of staying on track with your diet in the day. A little bit of a life hack, reality hack, whatever you want to call it. Then my third and final one is that so many people get obsessed with weight consistently every week. Now weight can fluctuate in so many ways. And again, this podcast isn't about that. I've done many on that. This is about the reality of how much 1 pound is, right? How hard you have to work to lose 1 pound of fat. It's like 3,500 calories. That's like taking 400 calories off like a day off your diet. 400 calories could be a lot of food, really, if you look at it over like meats, fish, vegetables. Like you could look at rubbish food, for example, 2 Mars bars or whatever. It's a lot of food. A lot of progress comes from 1 pound, and that's what we need to be the reality of, is that if you get a pound loss or you don't lose anything for 2 weeks, right, then you lose another pound. Do not be disheartened by that. You do realize how hard that is, but you know how easy it is to put on. You're talking about let's just say you think sod it for 3 or 4 days, right? You increase your calories by 400, 500, 600 because you're thinking sod it and you're off it, right? Do you know how far that sends you back? That could possibly send you back a couple of weeks. So the reality is, just because then you get back on it 2-3 days later and you look for it, you're already behind, right? So stay motivated and stay to the cause, and trust me, how hard a pound is to lose is very, very hard. So please do not beat yourself up and just be motivated, because as long as you're putting in the work, as long as hand on heart you're putting in the work, eventually your body transformation will come and that weight will come off and you will be absolutely on a roll. Trust me. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this short podcast of just some reality checks and some real life tips when it comes to body transformation. Guys, take care, and I will see you all in the next episode.